Hello, everybody. Welcome to Ignorance Bliss. This is Julian Lytle. On this episode, I'm talking to my friend in Imperium Comics, Chuck Collins, creator of the webcomic Bounce. This episode was recorded before some of these uprisings after certain acts of police murders and brutality. So even though they're quite regular, some of these things is not actually completely talked about on this episode, but it is also deep into the COVID-19. So just wanted to give you some context on the episode. So I hope you enjoy it. You can find Chuck at _bouncer on Twitter. You can just look for the Bouncer or Bounce webcomic online. At Julian Lytle is me on social media. IGBL Podcast is this show's Twitter handle. ignorantblisspodcast@gmail.com is the email. Please like, share, subscribe, and all that type of stuff. You can, I said that already, but you can also leave reviews on Apple Podcasts. I have a patron for the show. Thanks to all the patrons who contribute all the time. You're much appreciated. It's patreon.com/Julian Lytle. And I hope you enjoyed the episode. Peace.
I was watching the new video for you know how they put Ultra Instinct Goku in the Dragon Ball Fighter Z game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know. I think it just came out this week.
Yeah, it can't. It did just come out this week, I think.
Yeah, I totally forgot about it. And I was like, oh snap! I saw it on YouTube, and I was like, oh, I got 5 minutes before Julian called me. I could watch this real quick.
Yeah, they need to change the name of that because that's like Imperfect Ultra Instinct.
Dude, I'm just looking at some. I only heard the announcement for it, and so like maybe like a few seconds of footage. After what I just saw, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, he's supposed to be like he should be good, but I'm still reading Dragon Ball Super, and it's like he still ain't learned how to master it yet. So
yeah,
it's it's Imperfect Ultra Instinct. We might not even see perfected Ultra Instinct Goku.
I mean, Super is still going, right?
As a manga, yeah, it is.
Yeah, but they stopped the actual anime.
Yeah, and like after. So like Broly, the movie counts, and I guess maybe they'll do another show after it gets like a lot more story because like Super had the benefit of what they did. They just redid those movies over as episodes. Like,
wow. Yeah, that's true because it was
Battle of the Gods and Resurrection of Frieza. They just did them as like whole arcs.
That's true. I'm trying to figure out where Broly fits. Goku didn't even go.
It's after. It's after Super. It's after the. It's after the last episode of Super.
Okay.
Like it's official. It's canon. Like.
Okay. Because you know how sometimes they used to do that in the old school Dragon Ball movies where they would do the movie in between a saga.
Yeah.
It's like it kind of took place during the fact, like with Three Gates Super Saiyan when they fought Android. I think it was 13, 14, and 15.
Yeah, all that stuff, all that like random made up stuff.
It's like, okay, y'all just happen to fight these dudes in the middle of fighting Android 18 and 17 too. Like, I don't understand what's happening.
None of that stuff made. I was so glad when I found out like none of that stuff counted. I was like, I don't have to figure this out.
None of that.
But yeah, they went out of their way to make sure that like people knew that like Broly counted, so like he could be canon. Finally,
I mean, yeah, finally, because that was the dude right there. He only had one bit. I like how they gave him more character in this.
They gave him a lot more character.
Yeah. The other one, he was the man, but he was just annoying. It was like, dude, all right, I get it, man.
Yeah, like you mad because he cried too loud.
Exactly, he cried a lot. Okay, I get it. It's annoying, but damn, son.
Yeah, they really fleshed out the whole beginning of the whole thing, like Frieza, not Cooler, but King Cold, and you know, King Vegeta and Bardock, and I was like, oh yeah, like he's like, not only am I gonna make like Broly canon, I'm gonna like make those little specials that didn't really count. I'm gonna make like an actual official beginning. Like this is how we got here. This is why Goku got to Earth, and
that's what I like about it, man. I mean, I actually did that one. What the film? I was like, this shit is the bomb. Like, I had the pleasure of seeing it in the movie theater.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater too.
Yeah,
I reviewed it. I reviewed that movie.
Oh, okay. Because Karen had to review it too. That's why she got tickets. She was like, "Yeah, we're going to see that." I was like, and she's not really a big Dragon Ball fan. Like, she'll see me watch it, or she'll see me play it. She'll ask me a few questions here and there, but then after she saw the movie, she's like, "Damn!" I was like, "Yeah." It birthed so many sons and daughters. Exactly. Yep. I was like, this is why. And I imagine the animation that you saw just now was nowhere as good as the stuff I saw back in the day, but the feeling was still there.
Yeah.
So when I was like out of high school and seeing Dragon Ball Z for the first time, I was like, what the hell? I know I want more of this. I didn't even know it was called. I know it was called Dragon Ball Z because the title came up. But I saw my first Dragon Ball Z with no subtitles, nothing. It was straight Japanese. So
that's sometimes the most fun watching it, to be quite honest, because it lets you it lets your imagination go wild. And Dragon Ball is so freaking all over the place. You like. You just making up all types of stuff in your head. It's the closest thing. Yeah. It's the closest thing to watching kung fu movies, also without dub, like with no subtitles. It's like it's just fighting and they talking to each other. It's like, oh man, they beefing. I can get it. I understand why.
Man. And you say they must be beefing over a girl, or you man. And there's always a flashback scene. Like, oh, I see now. I see what that dude did. Like, oh man. I remember that. I remember that feeling back in the day. See, we used to get like really ridiculous subtitle joints, man. You didn't even know. I don't even know where half these dudes at anymore. It's like you got the Dragon Ball Z tapes that come S. Baldrick production. Like, what the hell is S. Baldrick?
the early days of the fan subbing and the fan like it's like y'all got it good now. Y'all don't know what it was when they were just making them say all types of stuff.
Oh man, translations were all wrong. People were the names were like misspelled.
Yeah, like Krillin had like 8 names by the time we figured out his name was like Kuririn, and I was like, man, he Krillin, bro.
He's
like,
Krillin. I don't care. I don't care. They had like Y's in his name. Yeah, I ain't know what the hell was.
It's like, what are y'all doing? Like now you look back like, hey, it was the Wild West. Like y'all kids, y'all don't know how good y'all got it. Y'all just go download something, man.
For real. There was another one. It was called S. Baldrick always used to do the Dragon Ball stuff, and there were other ones. Like it wasn't ADV films. It was AV something.
Yeah, his ADV was official. They had the dubs.
Yeah, it was official. It was official. There was another group of dudes who used to translate that tried to sound like it was ADV, but it wasn't. And I remember that because I was like, that's not really them. But then it was like they would translate things like Ninja Scroll, and I remember the first time I saw Ninja Scroll, it was called
When Ninja Chronicles? I still call it that. Like, I still in my head like,
Yeah.
it's called Wit Ninja Chronicles. Ninja Scrolls when they made that official dub.
Yup. And then they had, but then see, a lot of people don't remember is there's also like the other joints that came out that was kind of the same, because you had like Ninja Chronicles and then you had Evil Dragon 4 Chronicles, which was like, it was like Legend of the Overfiend without the gratuitous sex. Like,
yeah.
It was the same kind of like weird, demonic craziness, and like always is a dirty old man who's a monk and he's training some dude.
Mm-hmm.
He has a destiny, and he got to like. But then some of these things were brutal because people were just dying left and right over nothing. Like people's heads just get punched off, and demons just eating whole people for no reason in the middle of the street. What the hell, man?
It was
my favorite. My favorite was Peacock King. Peacock King was like
Peacock King.
Oh yeah, that one was that. That was like, in fact, I had like a brief conversation with Ronald about it because he had to tell me that it was another animator. I had thought it was the dude that remember the world record in Animatrix.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I saw y'all talking about that on Twitter. Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was another dude that I was like, okay, that makes sense. Because like there was the Peacock King series that spanned like 26 so episodes, and then there was like the OVA, which was like 4 big episodes that combined, and then later on they put it out as a full movie. They combined the whole thing together, but it was so good because it looked like the beginnings, like the old school Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust.
Yeah.
Like that kind of, and it was like somewhere in between that, but the animation was so great. And it was like the same thing. Dude out there got a destiny, got to save the world from he's the light, bad guys the dark. Let's get it popping. But it was the first time in any anime that I saw them use jutsus like they saw Naruto's. Like this Peacock King was doing this way before. So they would do like all the hand gestures, the little mantras and everything. And that's how they would power up. Yeah.
I remember that stuff. Like, like by the time I got to Naruto, I was like, oh, I've seen all this crazy stuff before. I'm guessing this is a thing. Like this.
Yeah. Like, Peacock King. Yeah, it was one of the first ones that did that. That's why I used to get all interested in that shit. This is bananas. They had like all the hand, the stuff you see them do Naruto now. It was the stuff they were doing in Peacock King. I'm like, that looked like art. Like I can't even put my fingers like that. I don't even understand what's going on.
Yeah, that makes me think it's like this something like culturally. Like I always think it's like this something that like I just don't know because like I'm still just a regular degular American person. like there's something going on here. There's some cultural things happening with these hand signals.
I think that's what made the anime more interesting than everything else, because there were things that we didn't understand that made us be like, okay, I'm stepping outside of my regular element, like American as quote unquote storytelling. And now I'm like throwing myself into something that culturally I don't know about. Like,
yeah, it's almost like a different Asian aesthetic, because at that point when I started like knowing what anime was, like, I'm already having like a kind of understanding and stuff from China or Hong Kong from Kung Fu movies. So it's like, all right, like I kind of have an idea of what's popping. Like I have some type of language history of like putting together on like this kind of how China was for like 200, 300 years, right? Like before like it got, the revolution and everything. And then you are watching anime, you're like, okay, I don't. All right, and then it takes a long time to start catching up. Like, okay, so all right, I guess this is in Shinto, maybe. Like, all right,
exactly.
Like.
Then you start realizing, he was like, damn, there was different sets of Buddhism, like Shinto Buddhism. There's like, your regular traditional Buddhism. There's kind of Buddhism they practice in Thailand. I just thought it was the same thing all the way around. Obviously now you're older and you're more of an adult. You realize there's whole different aspect of religions that are out there. But when you're younger, like in your teens, and you're watching this stuff, you're like, "Whoa, I thought it was just this."
Yeah, it opens your mind up a lot. Like, man, like, okay.
I remember. I was like, I think it was those. Those were kind of my favorite ones. If it didn't have super fighting and exaggerated craziness, like I wasn't trying to mess with it. And then I had one friend of mine. She used to be heavily into Yu Yu Hakusho, but then she used to also like pretty boy anime stuff. And she tried to get me to watch it. I'm like, nah, man, I'm sorry, I can't do it. But there was a whole bunch she used to watch. I can't remember. So one was called Love Hina. I don't know.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that. Of that.
She watched that. She watched what was another one? She was in the Flame of Record. She loved Flame of Record, but she loved the dudes in Flame of Record. That was just like, the thing about Flame of Record was it wasn't bad, but for some reason some of the animation bothered me. It's like it was so inconsistent because at some point it started getting good, and like you got to those filler episodes, which there were a lot of. They were just bad.
That's when you were just getting things through.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. But it seems these days, man, anime doesn't have that problem anymore. They do, even their filler episodes be crazy.
I think they do a lot less episodes now. So it's like, it's like gone are the days when you knew that like Naruto only took like 6 weeks off of the year, but it was always on. And the only way you knew seasons changed was because, the intro and the outro is different.
Exactly.
Like, that's how we change up a season. Oh, okay.
Yep. That's what usually, and that was the first time for any anime for me, because it was like, okay, you just it went straight through. Even for Dragon Ball stayed with the Chala for like,
they knew they had iconic. They knew they had an iconic intro. Like it was global at that point. Everybody knows that Chala. It's like,
yeah. I don't know if I can get it, but I know that in Dragon Ball Fighter Z, you can get like some of the Japanese music. I haven't gotten the season pass to get all of them, but they have that newer version of Chala in there, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it.
I know they did a version of, because the Kakarot game came out, and they did a version. The game starts out with the old intro, but made in the video game graphics because it looks, just like the anime. I saw that. I was like, as soon as this game go on like super steep sale, because I don't got time to do an RPG, I'm copping it just so I can look at the intro when I started.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
It is that sparking, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Well, that's the thing, though. This quarantine, that's actually the only reason why I got a chance to play any video games, just because where the fuck am I going? Like, I got laid off from work. I mean, I do got freelance work to do, but like, apart from that, like, I think I beat both Persona 5 Royale and Final Fantasy 7.
Damn.
Yeah, son.
I've beaten 0 games because I still go to work every day.
That's it. Still out there, man. How you dealing with that shit, though?
It's all right. It's just like, I don't see anybody, and I just go to work. I walk outside. It's like the Omega Man.
That's it.
But there's still people outside. Like they still walking their dog and they're jogging and.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it's the same. It's the same thing out here, man. Like you live next to the not too far away from the projects over here. You still got folks, walking around doing their daily stuff. Like in fact, me and Karen went today to do some shopping at the Korean market. There's a lot of people, they ain't going to the Korean market because they're Asian.
They're missing out.
All kinds of weird. They're missing out because they got all the good cheap. And most of the people who won't shop at Korean market, they don't cook. So
so
they rather go and so it's cheaper. We get a whole week. We step out of there. I spend like $40. I got enough for like 3 weeks, man.
It makes sense.
That's
yeah.
it. The only time I go to the actual supermarket is if I need to get like meat, like some chicken or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
I always found supermarkets weird in New York City. I always found them weird. It's
Why?
I don't know, because they're so different that I think they're so different than when the way they are outside of New York City. Like every place else literally has, let's say, a suburban style version of a grocery store, except for New York City. And if you're not from New York City, it's weird because it's a real different culture clash than like. I'm like, this is different. Even the outside is different. Like going in, it's like, I don't know about this. Like I got used to it when I lived there, the shop, because you got to shop. But then now I came home and I was like, whoo, there we go.
Yeah.
I know this layout. This is the way this is supposed to work. And then I go to other places across the country. It's like, yeah, like I'm in California. It's like, I don't have to learn anything. It's a grocery store. I'm in New York City. I'm like, this is so different. Where is everything? I don't understand the path.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this until I've traveled to LA a bunch of times and everything, but it was the first time I actually went to LA, and I didn't stay at like a hotel or anything. I just went to my boy's place.
Yeah.
And I was there for like 2 or 3 weeks, and we went to the store. It was the first time I went to an actual supermarket out there. I was like, this is bananas. Y'all got everything up there.
Yo, that's how everyone lives, bro. That's how everyone else lives.
That's what I realized, though. Other times I go to the supermarket, everything is there. I don't have to worry about this. New York, you go drive down to you got to go to everywhere different. Like, okay, I got to go to the supermarket for these things. I got to go to other bodega for these things because the supermarket don't got it there because they don't carry ethnic cheese.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to go to and then I need a bottle of bourbon. I got to go to the liquor store. You go to another supermarket like in LA, it's like everything is right here. I don't have to make no trips anywhere.
Yeah, man.
Like it was wild for me. I remember going out to LA, just going like this is back when I would go just to get a pack of cigarettes, and I said, I'll get a pack of cigarettes, a bottle of water, a few things for the hotel. And then I look, and it's a liquor store, and I'm like, wait a minute, did I come into the wrong place? Like, nah. They just sell all the liquor there. And you got your groceries. And you got your cigarettes. And I was like, okay.
And you got a pharmacy. And you got your cars. You got flowers. You get a sandwich made. You get a pizza.
Yes, I love
you can get sushi. Man. You can get bread. You can get cakes.
Dude, I like that. That's what, like, why don't we have this here?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It took forever for y'all to get 7-Eleven and then kind of messed everything up.
And even with 7, and that's the other thing. Even 7-Eleven here ain't the same 7-Eleven that you get. Nope.
It's not
the same thing.
I went in there and I was like, what's this? This don't feel like 7-Eleven when I'm at home. What y'all doing? Y'all did this wrong.
Y'all need to redo this. Y'all bought the bootleg version. Y'all went out here and put the S. Baldrick version of 7-Eleven. I don't know what you...
It's like, come on, New York always gotta be different. If you gonna do suburban shit, do it right.
Do it, yeah. I was a kid when I was a kid, and you see, that's the thing. How in like other places like Long Island, that's when you used to get like all the other other places. Like you always see the commercial Pizza Hut. There was no Pizza Hut in the hood.
Yeah, wait.
I didn't have that.
Not where y'all at. No, because y'all got pizza places
Brooklyn,
though.
East Flatbush, you had the regular traditional pizza dudes that you used to have to get, and ain't look nothing like what they showed you on TV. And when you become older, and you're like, oh, Pizza Hut, try this shit and everything, you realize how much
it's
gold
trash.
you had when you was a kid.
Yeah, it's trash.
Pizza, because that's trash.
It has great commercials though. Like it has commercials, and that's what gets you when you're a kid. Then you find out like, nah, y'all got the best pizza in the world. Y'all straight.
Yeah. Lenny's right up the block with their bootleg arcades of everything. That's what the funny thing is. That's where I first played all of my really horrible versions of Street Fighter. Remember when they used to have that?
The broke versions?
Pizzeria. Yeah, like one when you got the Dukins that like take up the whole screen.
Rainbow Edition.
Yeah. And these motherfuckers had the audacity to cover up the part that says Street Fighter 2. Because you know how the arcade, you have the top title.
Yeah.
Top part of it. They had the audacity to take off Street Fighter 2 and then put Street Fighter 3.
Oh, some bastards.
So as a kid, I'm like, oh, this Street Fighter 3 is crazy.
You can do all types of stuff. This is amazing.
Man. That's what I'm saying. Yo, he do show you get in a Hadouken at the same time? Come on, man. And you realize how rigged it was. You thought you was going to do everything. You just your ass. Like,
somebody got to do a story about it. Somebody need to do like a video just about like the broken, hacked, messed up versions of Street Fighter 2 cabinets.
Hell yeah.
Because I knew like that inspired those Marvel Versus games. Because clearly... Like that's the only reason why Ryu was shooting lasers and Chun-Li is shooting out a giant orb that takes up half the screen.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yo, I used to love that, man. That used to get me going. I think the most hype that we got was, I mean, like everybody, was the first appearance of Akuma. You know, this is like back in the day where you would still, 42nd Street still had arcades.
Yeah.
And we would cut class and go down to the arcade. And I think I was like either a sophomore or junior when Street Fighter, Super Street Fighter 2 Championship Edition came out. Ain't nobody seen it yet. There was a whole bunch of us. And one dude unlocked like fought him. And you didn't play as
yeah, you had to get to him.
Yeah, and of course Kuma beat his ass. The whole entire place just rumbled, man. It was like, yo, that was hype. That was hype for back in the day. Now you just get hit, you just beat a game, you get a hit the character. Like, oh, okay, I got it. or wait, I paid $5.
Yeah, now it's a reveal. Now it's the reveal trailers. Like, oh my god, this is coming out, or this person's, or this season's starting. It's not the same. Because they know, like, if they do something, it's going to get, like, somebody's going to hack the disc and put the code up and then, like, show the character. And before they even get a chance to do anything, they can't even really have surprises.
Nope. They know somebody's going to do it. Most of those games already have those characters built inside of them anyway. Or, like, some form of the character. They always have, like, the slot open for them.
Yeah.
So all you're paying for is, like, literally the firmware to update the system so the character can unlock. They're all there already.
Yeah. And you can tell when they update the game and you see like you got the long update. Like, now since they got the seasons, it's like, okay, well this is one of those big updates. So that means they putting in all the data.
They gotta put in all the data. Like what was the game that I got not too long ago? It was the Blaze Blue tag battle.
Yeah, that crazy game.
Oh my god, that game is ridiculous. I haven't beat the game yet because it's too long. You're like to get the story mode, you gotta fight everybody. There's like already 40 some odd characters in that game.
That's why I never liked Blast Blue period, because it takes too long to play the story.
It's
all of them is that long. Like I'm like, I can't. I don't know what's going on. The story doesn't work for me.
It's fun. It's fun to play. I mean, I love the characters. Look great. The animation and everything else with the story. I still don't know what is going on. I remember I got the first Blaze Blue, and I think I got the second, and I think that was it. Last time that I got it was for the Blaze Blue tag battle, and the only reason why I got it was because I love Persona. I've been playing Persona since I was in high school. I love Persona, so I was like, oh, well, I got my Persona characters in there, and I need to see what's up. But apart from that, man, I'll stick to my guilty gear. That's it.
Did you play the Persona fighting games that they made before they made that?
Yeah, I had the first one, and then I had bought a PlayStation 4, and I didn't buy the second one because I couldn't. I had only one HDMI cable, and it just got exhausting switching. So
Yeah.
like, if they got it, hopefully they'll port it over to PS4 and I'll get it in. But I never really got a chance to play the second one. The first one I loved. I thought the first one was great.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty surprising.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I like how they're able to take these other games and just turn them into fighting games. It's like, you guys know what y'all doing.
That's the only thing. And they hooked up with the company to do it. They hooked up with Arc System. Because, I don't know, man. Blaze Blue is like whatever for me, but Guilty Gear is just, it's ridiculous. I don't even understand how, there was a video I saw not too long ago about how they did the animation to do with Guilty Gears that are coming out.
Yeah.
Bro, it's insane. I don't even know what the fuck these dudes were thinking or what they were drinking, smoking, shooting up to come up with the concept of doing this animation. But Jesus Christ. The way they thought it out, it's bananas.
It's how they're able to bring about like 2D aesthetics in 3D.
Yeah.
And it's something that's not even like rendered. It's not like, it's one thing when people do it and it's like, you know, let's take like Spider-Verse and they're doing it, but it's like a rendered movie that you watch. Like they're making like systems do it on the fly. Like,
Yep.
That's like,
and that's the thing. And that's
crazy.
The thing that I think that's missing with most anime now. Like there's some animes that done the, you know, like the cell shaded look.
Yeah, it never looks right.
It never really looks right. And I'm like, I don't know why y'all not implementing the Guilty Gear style of animation into what y'all doing. It would fit. I mean, granted, some of them is kind of cool. Like there's the it's not Baki. I call it bootleg Baki. The other anime. Oh man, it's on Netflix. I can't remember. It's the fight one.
With the Mexican one?
The same. No. It's kind of like Grapple Baki, but it's. Man. All right. You know what? I'm not even going to finish talking about it because I don't remember the name. I'll tell you about it later.
Yeah, you watch way more anime than I do now. So
that's all. I always have the stuff playing on in the background, even if I've seen it already. It's like white noise to me as soon as if I'm doing any artwork or drawing, like I just throw that on.
Yeah.
And if I watch it, and this is what people. I know that there's a huge argument with people that watch subs versus dubs and which one is better and all this other. I really don't care. I'll watch either one, but for me, when I'm drawing and I can go through a series, I'd rather watch the dub because I don't have.
You can listen to it. Yeah,
I can just listen to it, and then when the part comes up where the animation gets crazy, I'll take a pause, rewind. Oh, that shit is hot, and I go back to what I'm doing.
Yeah,
that's all I do.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. That war seems like kind of new. It was like if I'm actually watching, if I'm actually going to say, I don't want to sit down and watch, then like I want to watch the dub because I don't like the current generation of actors in American dubs. They don't do it for me, and I just think the Japanese voice actors do a better job because it's the original intent and it's kind of like done for like the Japanese Japanese speaking. But like you're right, like if I'm actually like doing something else, like it is background noise. I gotta have that dub on. Like
man. Like that's the reason why I love podcasts so much. Like I love listening to like scripted podcasts because it gives me the ability to do that. Like I can sit here, concentrate on what I'm doing, and listen to a dope ass story. Especially when some of these scripted podcasts are going over the top, man. They be having like sound effects and like ASMR, whatever shit going on. Like there was one time I was listening to this horror podcast, and I'm sitting here drawing, and it's like this surround sound stuff that I have my headphones on. And I'm like, and I knew Caramel was downstairs. And I'm sitting here drawing. I'm hearing footsteps coming from the back. And I'm like, the first thing I thought was like, I was like, yo, baby, why you got high heels? What's happening? And I turned around and nobody's there. And I'm like, oh, this is in the podcast. So some of these podcasts get crazy, man. I like a lot of.
Well, it's gotten to a point where like people are making stuff that was coming out like almost 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So we get to the point where we're going back to what live radio shows were.
Exactly. Going back to the radio times. But I don't mind. it gives me stuff to do gives me something to listen to while I do stuff. Like I was doing one of my favorite podcasts is called Lore, and then I usually play it when I'm cleaning. Like if I clean the kitchen, I'm doing dishes, whatever, laundry, I'll throw on Lore, and that dude, because that dude's voice and the creepy piano he got playing in the background, I be like, damn. He'd be telling the craziest stories. I'm like, damn. And before the episode is finished, I'm done with whatever I'm doing. So I'm like, all right. So that became my weapon of choice every time I go do some cleaning or whatever. But boy, I don't know. This is some crazy ass times. I've stayed away from the political podcast because I just can't do it.
Most of the time, they're just talking about. They're not even really talking about politics. They're literally talking about what's going on in the and dealing with the pandemic and how things are being done or not done, and how they compare with other countries and things like that. And it is what it is. But speaking about this, I remember seeing you say that you're starting a new storyline with Bounce, dealing with the current situation.
Yeah, I had to get myself out of this funk, man. I couldn't create or do anything, man. It was like I just had a really, like, towards the end of, in fact, last time we spoke, towards the end of March into around my birthday, Karen wasn't here. She was dealing with being with her mom during the pandemic. They had the shelter. So I'm here by myself, which I have a problem with. There's, do that shit all the time. It's not even a thing, but like the way it was going down, it was like every day was just a sense of dread because it's like the whole world's changing around you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not to say that you don't expect it to happen or you're just not ready for it. But it is a thing where a lot of it, when your norms change, it does something to you. So I had to get used to the fact of me here being by myself and having to consistently worry about people that I usually be able to have contact with. If I'm worried about my mom, I can always go to things to go see her. I'm worried about my brother, I can always meet up with him. But at the same time, it's like you don't have the luxury of doing that. And I think it all came to a head where, it hit close to home because one of my best friends died. He died, like it took him within the first, I think, 72 hours of him traveling. And of course, he had pre-existing conditions. So that was like this whole thing. So all that being said, and then the week later it was my birthday, and I'm just here by myself, like, oh God, everything sucks. And I couldn't come up with nothing, man. And then on top of that, and this is something I didn't even get a chance to tell you this because this happened. The battery to my Wacom tablet has now begun to expand, so it's lifting up the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
at that point, I would just open it up and take it out.
Yeah. It's just, that's it almost look. I mean, it's not completely off. It's only in the corner, but at the same time, so I had to call Wacom. And, because it's their fault with the defense, they're going to fix it for me for free. And I was like, oh, that shit is dope. So all I had to do was send it in. Then they were like, but unfortunately, we're going to keep you on the list. Our repair, our technical staff is not here because of the pandemic. We don't know when they're coming back.
What?
I'm like, oh, that's nice. They
should just
crazy.
send you a whole new one.
That's what I'm saying. I told him, and he jokingly said,
I'd be like, haha, yeah. Like,
yeah. I was like, man, dude, I've been a long time. Look back at all the products I've worked on. A long time since
what do you mean that people aren't there to fix it? What kind of bootleg company is this right now?
I was like, dude, are you serious? All their repair offices are in Washington.
So?
And Washington has been shut down, so they can't go.
Bullshit, but okay. I say this as a person who works with computers, and I've just sent out 8 different computers to get fixed, and I'm like, what's wrong with your company versus other companies? Just saying, like,
please, I don't know what that is, and so like, I mean, on the right side, I can get it fixed now. On on the other side of things, I had to wait till. So then, what they did was they put me on this list, which, and I asked them, I said, all right, look, if y'all can't give me a new one or whatever the case is it safe to me to work on? Because the computer still works fine. And he said, well, here's what you do. Just don't overcharge the battery. If it gets to 80%, take it out. And if it gets below 30%, that's when you start charging. Never let it go up again. Up above. He said, because it won't, it's not going to blow up or anything.
Yeah, it's just going to expand more.
But it's just going to expand. That's all it is. So I said, all right, what I'll do is, I'll just keep tabs on my hourly working. Like, I'll just, instead of working 8 hours on something, I'll work on it for 6. Like, I don't know, whatever. Or I'll take breaks in between. But yeah, as far as this story, it was just something that I literally just, my imagination just ran wild with me. Coming from the supermarket last week, and I just had this image of this kaiju monster with a big corona-shaped head.
Like the beer?
The
virus.
Like the virus, where the cell looks, little pinnacle things coming out like little suction cups.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I just let my imagination run wild, and I started thinking about other stuff. And then I watched that anime, Promare.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, which is off the chain. And I was like, yo, what if the bouncer, at this point, the bouncer don't have, he doesn't have a job. All the bars are closed. So what's he going to do? So I had this little saga that I thought about where he becomes the bodega bouncer, and he's sitting there keeping the public in line, like telling people to stay 10 feet apart, let 10 people at a time at the bodega, like they can't all go into the store at once. Like,
that's
he's
crazy.
Trying to make that money. But and then in the middle of that, he's got protesters across the street talking about, this is just the whole joke of America, blah, blah, blah. And the corona monster just come out of nowhere and eat everybody. So then they're like, at this point, the corona monster's dead. And it's like this one is like the corona monster that lets out this aura, and everybody who's around just gets infected. And the bouncer's like, all right, look. And he looks at Yamaya and like, all right, look, we both infected, man. Let's fight. Like, we gotta do something about this shit. At least in our hometown, we gotta do this. And then, the rest is nothing but like unhinged craziness. Because between all the anime I've been watching, all the video games I've been playing, and rewatching Avatar, I'm like, all right, I need to get this out my system. So I decided I'm gonna do a little. It's not gonna be that long. I ain't gonna do like no crazy graphic novel, but I just need to do something action packed, not like a super crazy and intense story. Nothing too philosophical. Nothing, political. Kinda. I mean, I guess you're playing around with the politics of the pandemic, but like whatever. I just want to make something fun.
Oh, that sounds what's up though. It sounds like you're using like all the stuff of your current happenings to inspire this story.
Yeah.
And folding all this good fight energy you've been taking in,
Yeah, exactly. I gotta trigger it somewhere else, man. I can't just let it sit there. But and it's funny because like I said, I watched Avatar. I had seen the first season of Avatar. I had never seen the second or third season.
Oh, you never saw like Ba Sing Se?
No, bro. I've never seen any of that. And it's mostly because of the time that it came on, because I was working at the time. And this is before the days of like, just DVR, or I'll just,
it was rare. I was one of the people that had a DVR, but most people they came over to my house and was like, yo, what is that? I was like, yeah, man, I'm on that next shit. I got this DVR though.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be taping without tapes. They be like, what? But yeah, back in those days, Nickelodeon was showing it at crazy times too. Like it was never like at one standard time. Like they got episodes and it was like, we gonna show them. And then if you miss them, you miss them. And it's like they wouldn't replay them because they gotta play like one of their little live action comedy shows over and over again. You be like, but I want to see the Kung Fu cartoon. What is it?
Exactly. And I remember I had and the only reason why I watched it was because I had an ex-girlfriend at the time whose sister really, really, really loved the show. And they were living together at the time. And every time I go over there, she'd watch it. So I just watch it with her. And I'd be like, oh, this is crazy. But then, you know, I wasn't that grip. I didn't see how they thought when I went there. So, but then other times when I actually could sit down and I could actually work. And so I never had a chance to watch it. And it was the same thing with Korra. And I didn't get to Korra too much because I was like, well, I ain't even seen Avatar. I'm going to throw myself into this other shit and not know what the hell I'm watching.
Word.
So I just let both of them go. So I was like, at some point, and it just procrastinated. I just never got a chance. But I've seen so many clips, so much stuff. In fact, I have 3 of the Legend of Korra art books.
Yeah, okay.
That I look at. I love them. All the artwork in them is beautiful. I've just never watched the actual art. But
that's gonna hit different when you actually get around to it. When you finish and you watch it, it's gonna hit different.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I finished all of Avatar, and then I went straight to Korra because it's available on CBS All Access. Yeah. But it's only the first 2 seasons. So I went through the first 2 seasons of Korra, and I'm sitting there like, all right, let's go. Nope. Now I gotta go and pay a whole. I think Amazon Prime has it. Each season is like $30 some odd. I'm like,
I think you could get the whole Blu-ray for like $30 with all the seasons.
That's what Karen was like. All right, no, I got you. Karen for the whole thing, and she was like, no, you got it.
Yo, because season 3 gets the next level. Like, like season 3 gets into radical politics and shit, and you be like, this ain't really wrong. Ooh, like,
Yeah, she told me to get real. And so she sent me a link. She was like, yo, I got you. $31 for the whole season. Yeah. I was like, not that. I'm paying money for it. So I ordered that shit. I was like, I'm going to wait for it to come. And then I'll watch the whole thing. Because I'm just impressed off like sheer like character design. Character acting and animation means a lot to me. Because it's like, you know, when you have characters, especially in a lot of other cartoons, it's not just anime, it's cartoons in general. And I think that's the reason why I flip between old school Warner Brothers and Disney stuff straight to anime. And it's like, I know there's a lot of other love for certain crafts, you know, animation and everything. Even some of the, like, I love Rick and Morty, but the art style is, I don't get inspired by it.
It's ugly. It's ugly.
It is. But I think because of the kind of story it is, it fits that. The style fits the story. But when it comes to, like, character acting, like, all the old school Warner Brothers stuff, the Fleischer cartoons, you know, like, just seeing the way that the characters are just, you know, and I think that's another reason why I like some of the DC animated stuff, too, because they do pay attention to a lot of character acting in there, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of the movies, they get a little static and, you know, I'm like, all right, y'all could have done that shit a little bit.
Yeah, that's how you can kind of tell which ones they're like, yo, we got to get this out because we got to hit the schedule and we run out of money. Yeah. And and there's other times just like, y'all really put y'all foot in this when y'all was inspired.
Oh God, y'all really went in there. But it's like, you know, I'll see it. Like I just watched what's that new one?
Apocalypse War.
Dude, they should just call that movie. Did you watch it?
Yeah. No, I watched it. It's not my cup of tea, but You know, it is
You
what
know what
it
it is? They should have just called that shit "Everybody Gonna Die." That's what they should have called it. I was like, there was only like 3 black characters in there. They died horrible. Like, this is horrible. But I mean, I didn't hate it, but it was just depressing to me. I was just like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I guess they thought like, hey, this is ending, and we about to reboot to a new series, so
yeah,
everybody's gonna die. Like everybody's gonna die.
Yeah, just kill everybody. Everybody's gonna die. And they try to give you a glimmer of hope at the end when they talk about like the John Constantine's like, oh, you got the Flash.
Yeah, that's because he runs
and all the light, like they watch the sunrise, and everybody just fades away, and I'm like.
Well, yeah, because they know that most of the people who watch it know that like a Superman movie comes out either like at the end of the year or early next year, like.
Yeah.
So it's like a whole new animated movie universe is starting, so they can end it that way. They can go ham and kill everybody and make it so bleak because they know like, oh yeah, we fitting to start over. So, say goodbye to this.
Just kill everybody. But you know what's funny for me? And this is where my brain gets all messed up because I'm looking at what happened to Hawkman. I'm looking what happened to John, Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking what happened to Starfire. I'm like, yo, the only thing left of y'all is like your jaw and part of your face. Like, how are you gonna live, son?
Yeah, like why did he bring them back? And it's like, oh yeah, Darkseid's petty. Of course he would do this.
Of course. Yes. Like this is what's going on. And
I'm gonna rebuild you.
Yeah. I'm like, yo, how you gonna leave them with nothing? And then like you got what's his name? Cyborg being all Green Mile talking about oh, there's no time to say good, Diana.
I can't get out of here anyway.
I can't get out of here. No. And then they had this big dramatic scene with Jon Stewart just going saying the whole Green Lantern credo, and then he finally gets there, and they just that was horrible. They just turned him into a skeleton and then had him dust away like he was a vampire.
Yeah, I was that bothered me. Not because he was black, but before I'm like, hold up. Magma can't melt the freaking central battery, so like this is stupid. Like I was really also also just pure like DC knowledge base of like that's not how any of this works. This is dumb. Like why would he even go there? Like Darkseid can't just kill the guard. Like I was too busy like I don't like this, but it's not for me. It's for other people. And I say this when I'm watching this, and I'm like, it's not for me. It's for other people. It's for other people. It's not for me.
I mean, I saw when in the beginning when they showed you how people would just get
ripped apart, bro. It was oh man.
I was like, what the hell are y'all thinking? Like you. Oh, I was just done. I was like, all right, well. I paid $5 to rent it.
Yeah, finish. Only it's like 90 minutes. Just knock it out. Like it's $5. You got $5 worth. Like it's not like it's like it's not worth that money. I'm like, all right, like yo, like Tony Todd is Darkseid. I'm like, well, at least that's cool. Like I
was like, I'll take it. But they didn't even use like dark Tony Todd. They just let him talk normal.
Yeah.
Which by itself is a very intimidating voice. But when Tony Todd be doing some of them voices, they make him go dark. Like he puts his voice deeper. He gets all like, they modulate his voice a little bit, make him sound ominous and shit.
Yeah, they was like, nah. It was like Candyman. Just go regular Candyman on this. Like, that's scary.
I was like, man. That's the thing too. You see Darkseid. It was like, it just, I don't know. I the fact that they had the whole John Constantine thing in there with him as a tanner and all this other stuff, and I'm like, and the thing is, as one, I actually like John Constantine here. He felt pointed, but he still feels so out of place.
That's new John Constantine, bro.
Yeah, it's just I think that's the appeal for John Constantine back in the day. For me, it was like I'm not a superhero. I'm not that dude. Like, and that's like you got the Hellblazer comic, and it was about this dude who fought evil, but in the way that he did it, and that's it. But then, like, you put him in with all these dudes in spandex, you're like, come on. Like, it just still, like, I mean, it's. There was one time, I think, when they first introduced him and he was there for, like, this, like, mute. And it was kind of like, oh, look, John Constantine, that's cool. All right. Then we make him the central point of everything. I'm like, wait, what?
Well, yeah, it's basically like, because they did Justice League Dark, and that's kind of his movie. Mm-hmm. And this was the sequel of that movie, so he has to take the lead. And so it's like basically all about him. And it's just it gets to a point where it's just like, okay, well, and this all changed when DC did the New 52, when they pulled him out of Vertigo land and put him in the superhero land, where technically that's where he started, but even still, it's like he was Vertigo, like before Vertigo was Vertigo, and he's been outside for so long. Seeing him basically run around as like a British angry Doctor Who, Doctor Strange, exactly. Like basically is like the main magic person. It's just like, but like that's what Dr. Fate's for, like. Mm-hmm. Not the angry British guy who smokes cigarettes. It's the dude in the gold helmet. But I'm just waiting for him to end up in a video game, to be quite honest, because he still hasn't ended up in like.
Because they did the Justice League Unlimited, he wasn't in there. But
watch, he's gonna end up in but bet you Injustice 3, he's gonna be in there. He's gonna be in there. He's gonna be cool. Watch, he probably gonna have some dope attacks and like smoking cigarettes and cursing.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't put him in Mortal Kombat. In the new one.
They never debut a DC character in Mortal Kombat. They only like bring over somebody from Injustice, just like next Injustice 3, most likely somebody from Mortal Kombat. It'll probably be like current Defender of Earthrealm Fire God Liu Kang or something would be like in Injustice 3. And but yeah, like that's the thing. But I bet you like John Constantine got a lot of his Q rating has gone up. Like
it is. For those that didn't know, they know now.
Yeah, he's in the shows, like he's in Legends. They're about to make a Justice League Dark HBO Max series. John Constantine about to be that dude. Like he's going to be a major factor. And he's going to be asshole British magical Doctor Who for DC. That's what he's going to be.
That's it. I don't mind it. But truth be told, man, he felt really out of place. I don't know. It's funny because like Cameron had to watch the first, I think, episode. Oh shoot, I should probably be saying this. Oh. She had to watch the first episode of a new DC show coming out, and I will not say the name.
With Stargirl? Because it's out.
Yeah. Oh, it's out? Oh,
yeah, it's out, man.
Yeah, she watched it. She watched it.
Don't worry. If she's seen something, I've either had access to see something and chose not to, or I've already watched that shit. But yeah,
it's funny because there's a lot of shows she gets access to. You can sit here and watch it, and like, you know, I can't say nothing to nobody for a minute. It's like a month or so before the shit come out.
Oh yeah. That's the life.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like I remember what was the show. In fact, this was the camera. My homegirl Angelique, she had I saw the Spider-Verse like 2 weeks before that shit came out. I had to sit on that. I couldn't say nothing to nobody. I was like, oh, movie's hot. I couldn't say nothing. But I was like, yeah, but no, I remember she watched that, and I'm not a really big fan of a lot of the old school. I mean, like when I was younger, a lot of the old school like DC stuff. But so it was just interesting to me, you know, to see like the depiction of all the old school characters, you know, and the way they look now.
Well, it's reinterpreted for the show, and a lot of them get dealt with in that first 10 minutes. So
that's what that's but like people that complain, I'll see people complain about like certain things when it comes like outfits and everything. I'm like, no, in the original comic, it looked just as ridiculous. It's not even more. Like, why y'all?
It's supposed to look ridiculous. Like
it's supposed to look that way. Like I don't know what y'all expecting. Like,
they want it to look cool, man. Don't you understand? They want it to look quote unquote cool, but then they don't ever ask the question. It's like, how are they affording this cool outfit? Like,
exactly.
If it looks bootleg, you knew why. Of course, they made it. They can afford this.
Bruh, I couldn't deal. I was like, just seeing some of the people who were complaining after she made a post about like, you know, the show coming out, and when she got to, you know, her comment section, you know, Twitter and all that stuff, and I'm like, yo, I don't understand how y'all out here going crazy off of a character that was created back in the 40s that looked as ridiculous back then with pirate shoes on, and it's the most impractical thing you can have for anybody running around fighting anything, a cape. Like, no.
Yeah.
All of that stuff looked cool. It looked cool for what it was. We all know this day and age. If you sit down here doing kung fu with a cape on, your foot is gonna slip on some shit, and you're gonna get tripped up, and you ain't gonna do your move right. Bad guy gonna be chest. Like, we all know it's gonna happen to you. Man, come on.
But the bad guy got a cape on and a crazy pair of boots too. So y'all equal.
So, it's gonna be two black ass dudes, spandex, and like pirate boots, falling down the stairs and capes.
But yeah, like the way people react online, and some of these things, it's like it's like, why doesn't it look like this? It's like, yo, to me, I looked at the press picture and I was like, well, look at that. I was more happy to say they got Latina Wildcat. I've been waiting for her to come back for 25 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, oh, they went with the diverse versions. Let's go. I see what y'all doing.
Nah. They people criticize the hell out of that. I'm like, come on.
It don't matter. It's gonna do well. Like, it's gonna do well. It's gonna get good ratings, and it's gonna pick it up. And because also there's no new TV on, because can't nobody make nothing. So people gonna watch it. And the first episode is cool. It's like, you know, it has the right amount of like high school teen drama, family drama, and superhero stuff. And she's learning how to be a superhero. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, this is gonna work for an hour.
And I think it goes back to the traditional sense of what they did when they first premiered something like Smallville on. It was like, you had young high school Superman learning about his new abilities, coming into his own. And it had the same thing. It had the teen angst, had family drama, and had all the other stuff and elements in there. One of my favorite depictions of Lex Luthor ever.
Yeah.
Like, just, it was good. It was good for what it was. And you know, even though I think it's like much like Supernatural, which ended that show at like season 4 or 5.
What show?
But, Swanville.
Oh yeah. Like, they went full. They went full 10. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, come on, man. I should have ended this a long time ago.
Well, Supernatural is going 15, so.
Supernatural, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They went Supernatural. You know, even Supernatural took it too far, man. Like, y'all should have ended this shit in season 5 for real.
Yeah.
Like, this was too much.
Yo, man.
I stopped watching Supernatural around about season 10.
Yeah, I never watched it, so. But I was like, it's still on? I was literally like, it's still here? What are y'all doing?
It ain't going nowhere. But I mean, this is the last season.
But now it got extended because they couldn't finish it. No, like, it was supposed to be the last season, but they had to stop filming because of Corona. So they're going to finish up the episodes and they're going to air it in the fall. So it technically gets an extra season.
Man. It's like
it's a zombie.
Yes. It's like one of them super zombies in Resident Evil where you got to burn it.
Yeah, once when you shoot it, they get back up and they red, and you're like, oh no, run away.
I hated that version of Resident Evil because of that shit.
I was like, it got way harder. Like I would put that in the GameCube. I was like, oh my God, no. I can't. He keeps coming. Like, pause.
Dude gets the thing. He got talent now. He's out here running after you. I'm like, oh, no.
I was like, man, how come the movies was never that tense? The movies, I was like, I still hate those movies. I'm like, how come it's never that tense?
Oh God, dude, yeah, I can't. Like the movies, I think out of curiosity, I watched either the first 3 or the first 4, and I remember because they were only on Amazon Prime for free.
Mm-hmm.
But
they got like 7 movies out of that, man.
Yeah, dude, I can't. I don't think I finished the whole series. I just watched the first like 3. I was like, I'm done.
I hate those movies. I hate those movies.
Yeah.
I just want to see like, I don't care about this Alice person and all this. I just want to see the games as a movie. And now it's gone long enough. I'm like, y'all can make this into a dope ass series. If you just go from 0 and 1 and then 2 and 3 together, is like maybe like a season and a half, and then Code Veronica, and then you switch it up and then you get to 4. It's like, oh my God, what's happening? This is a totally different show. And then you like 4 or 5.
If they kept it like each season was a game.
I mean, it worked.
Have enough to get to Code Veronica, and if they want to do Resident Evil 4 when Leon went on his little road mission.
Yep, it reboots itself.
Definitely do that.
It reboots itself. But like, it's beautiful.
It would be great, but you got Mila Jovovich out. I'm like, I don't know who the hell is this.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, Alice ain't in the game. Where's Jill, the master of unlocking? I was like, y'all playing games with me.
I think they like introduced Chris Redfield in like the 3rd.
Yeah, they brought a whole bunch of characters in the end, like halfway through, and I don't even know if they made it through the whole story. And I'm like, but they're the heroes. Like,
they're supposed to be the heroes. Like, I don't understand. You had Jill. Who's the other one? The other girl
is Chris, Jill, Claire, Rebecca. Yeah. Yeah, man, all that type of stuff. Like, all that stuff is now, like, with TV, with like the way TV works, it's like, yeah, it would be perfect. Like,
oh yeah. So that's on HBO.
Each season got like a different setting. Like, the first season you do 0, so they stuck on the train, and then like, and then you get to the police station, and it's like the people gonna be like, "But where's Rebecca? I loved her in the first season," and then they end up like finding her like halfway, like almost at the end of the season, like, "Oh, it all connects together." Like, then you start another season, and you got like Leon and Claire, and then the whole freaking city's messed up, and then halfway at the end of that season, you saw Jill waking up. And it's like, and then like you got the next season, it's like a lot of her, and you see the end of their little story. Yeah, it makes itself.
You would have had Code Veronica coming to play after all the stuff happening. You would have, man.
It makes itself.
Man, people just don't. I don't know what's wrong.
Just give me a bunch of money in a writer's room in like 5 years, and I can make some hot TV. I can
make it. But no, it's even like these newer Resident Evil games. And we got such a resurgence of Resident Evil games. No, I personally have not played any of them. I did play the demo for the remake.
You gotta get the remakes, bro. The remakes is next level.
Listen to me, man. I love Resident Evil, and the demo was amazing. But that shit gives me too much anxiety.
Oh yeah,
my age.
Yeah, it's scary, bro. Like,
I was like, I had to throw the controller down sometimes. Like, I can see shit.
Like,
I don't know where this. I'm trying to shoot this motherfucker's head. He's not dying.
Yeah, bro.
I died within the first 10 minutes. Like, what is that?
And it's like you get like deja vu because when you're like when you finally get to the police station, it's like you got deja vu because like if you play 2 enough, it's like, yo, I know this, but I don't know this because everything looks way better, and like the sounds is better. It's more like it's like, and then like you see the Mr. X dude come out of nowhere, you be like, oh hell nah, run away.
Just when I got enough courage, I said, my man, Resident Evil 3 remake came out. Maybe because if the Resident Evil 2 was on sale,
yo, and they showed like, Nemesis, and you was shook, right. Wasn't you?
Yo, bro, when I heard, I was not only was I shook, when I heard that he could break the safe room, I was like, nope, I ain't touching this game ever in my life. I'm done.
Stars. I was like, oh.
Yo, and you talking about, and I used to love, like, the only game that I used to love way more than Resident Evil, and it had nothing to do with the game. Because a lot of people like to debate that the Silent Hill was a better survival horror game.
Oh, it was scarier. That's for sure.
It was a lot scarier. Because you were dealing with Resident Evil, you break it down, it's survival horror on the aspect of you're dealing with zombies, and you're dealing with zombies created by a evil corporation.
Yeah.
Take the evil corporation down, all right, you alleviate the problem. When you talk about Silent Hill, these are elder gods that want to destroy the world. You won't fight a god? Like, no, you escape and you leave and forgot the shit ever happened. Like, I'm done. I'm leaving Silent Hill. I'm going to be traumatized for the rest of my life, but at least I'm still alive, and I ain't never going back there again. That's how he handled
Yeah, it deals with, like, psychological trauma and stuff. When you get to the other games, like, it deals with stuff with the, like, psychology of the people that you meet and what's going on in the character. So it's just like, yeah, basically, Resident Evil is horror. You need to survive. It's zombies. But in the end, you're still kind of still action-oriented. You're a hero. And it's like, I'll blow up the zombies. I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to blow up the city. And then, like, we're gonna go take the fight to Umbrella now. We're going to get these people.
We're going to get them. Like, you actually have real face to the enemy. And, once you eliminate that shit, it's a wrap. But Silent Hill, nah. There's always been, how's the whole town its own entity? Like,
yeah.
Enter it, fight their own demons based on their psychological trauma.
Yeah, man.
Like, that's the whole thing, basis of Silent Hill 2. It's like, you're walking in there and you're wondering, like, why do these demons look like this? Why is Pyramid Head sexually assaulting two mannequin-looking things? And then you unlock all the stuff in the story in the game and you realize that the main character, this is all in the brain of the main character. I'm like, dude, I'm more scared of you than them demons right now.
Yeah, and then, like, all the characters you meet have their own things that they're seeing that you're not seeing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, like, this game is too deep. I didn't even know what was going on with that game until, like, I read the Wikipedia and I watched somebody play it on YouTube, and I was like, yo, I'm straight. I'm never going to play these. Nah, I'm not even.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I was a fan. I played all the games. I played one. I think the last one I played was 4. The only one I didn't play actually was the 5th one, and it wasn't because it wasn't that good. It was just like what they did. They took like how they prepped up all the first 3, actually the first 4, with all that psychological stuff and everything else, and they did it. They went over the top with it. They had a good formula in the first one. In the last one, they went so over the top with it that I'm like, okay, none of this makes sense. Like, they tried to do some M. Night Shyamalan stuff and do a twist in the middle of the game, and I'm like, nah, y'all, this is just bad writing. All of it. Just don't even go there. So I don't even think I finished that one. And then I got picked up when they came out with that PT game that you can't get no more.
Yeah, the demo, and then, like, everything happened with Konami and Kojima, and they got killed. But, like, of any game that probably would have had everybody shook, Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro making a horror game would have had people just too shook. They were like, okay, they win, it's over.
But I heard that the Kojima and del Toro are still doing another type of horror game for their company, and I think it's supposed to be like the same kind of Silent Hill type feel. But I just also heard that Konami is developing a new Silent Hill, bringing back the original creator. So I was like, I mean, that's all well and good, but y'all fucked up the last 2 games. I don't know how this is going to turn out.
Yeah, I remember there was rumors talking about Konami selling selling their IPs off because they're not making any. Like they basically gave up on making video games. They're just going to make pachinko machines.
They destroyed all their IPs, man.
They don't want to do it anymore. They make more money making pachinko games.
Yeah,
but like if y'all could, they just need to go ahead and cough it up. Like give Nintendo Castlevania or something, or like.
Hell yeah, give Nintendo Castlevania.
Let Sony get Silent Hill and then let somebody else buy it so it can be buy Metal Gear so it can be third party so Kojima can partner with him so he can make more Metal Gear games.
Just get it done.
Because I still want them to remake the Nintendo game. Like I'm like now you play all of Metal Gear, going back and like playing the first the first story or that. Like if you play all of Metal Gear and you play like, the beginning of the story is 3 and then you play like the PSP games and then you play like Metal Gear 5 and then like to play Big Boss's story and go into the Solid Snake, I gotta go back to Nintendo and it's just like, y'all should remake this. Y'all should remake this one.
Just remake it. I mean, look, listen, what happened with Capcom. Capcom decided that everybody's been asking for it. Let's give them some Resident Evil. The last Resident Evil that came out, everybody was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, it's cool."
Yeah, it wasn't hitting. It was 6. It wasn't hitting.
I
played it. I bought it. Yeah,
and it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like, all right, let's bring it back to the old stuff.
And they blessed us.
Yeah. It really did. And I said, okay, now I see what's going on. But in all honesty, a lot of these companies, especially some of these new video games, like they're not keeping to the old school feel of things. It's not because it's old school, like nostalgia or whatever. It's because there's systems that just work. Like, perfect example, me going through Persona 5 Royale now, all the personas have been consistent. They have a series of enemies and how to fight them. And even though some of the fighting style has changed throughout the years, obviously, from Nintendo all the way up until now, like, you still had a consistent way of battling against enemies. So if you used to playing the franchise and you go into a new one, you automatically know, says, okay, I get it. I can navigate this game. Even if you're a newer player, it's still easy enough for you to get through once you start to understand the concept. Because Persona is like, I'm not going to say it's as advanced as chess, but it's the same kind of way. Every fight you get into, unless you're like overpowered, but every fight you get into, even the weakest enemy can kill you if you don't know what you want. So, I mean, I like games like that still keep that traditional way of doing things, but even with the newer Final Fantasy that came out, like, it still has some of those old school things. Like, they made it to like this weird Devil May Cry type, Cloud doing all kinds of crazy combos, but you still have the option to like do like your traditional, all right, let me choose what I want to do. Do I want to attack them like this? Do I want to use magic? Do I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and they still kept the same materia system, combining materia, making new materia, doing all that stuff. It's great. And when you start like changing up stuff and thinking it's gonna be all like, I don't know, I think that's what Konami fucked it up.
Yeah, I just think they just wanted to stop making games.
Yeah.
I just think the people in charge of it was like, we're done with this. Like we can't keep up. Like they're spending all this money on these games and we can't keep up and we're not making enough money on it. So let's just do something else. Like people like gambling in Japan, let's do this. Like
that's all it is.
And it's like, but like you have some of the best franchises. Cough them up.
just get, man. When I'm looking at like Castlevania, like especially like I replayed, I was replaying Symphony of Night, and they re-released it on the iPhone. Well, I think on the same day that the newer season of Castlevania came on Netflix, and I was like, oh shit, I haven't played Symphony of the Night in a minute. So I bought it. It was like $2. So I bought it and it's on my phone. And I'm already halfway through the game. It's funny how much I remember every single thing about the game.
That means you played it a lot.
I played it a lot. All the hidden rooms. There's even a glitch that they had the original game and they didn't take it out of this new version. I was surprised. I don't know if you ever played Symphony of the Night.
I never played it long enough to beat it. Like, I thought it was cool, and I was like, "Oh man, this is deep," and it was just too deep for what I can get into at the time. Like,
right. But I don't know if you remember when you first started playing the game. Alucard, when he first gets to the castle, he's already powered up because he's got all of the most high-powered items on him. Like, the sword that he's using is like the most high-powered sword. The shield, the armor, everything he got. When you get there, you meet Death. And Death is like, I'll take away your power. And you see like the little character, the little sprite, and you see all the weapons and everything come off of him, and they just scatter. So most of the game is you trying to get back all these items so you can be high powered enough to go and defeat Dragon. When there's a glitch in the game where you walk into the room where Death is, and when you walk into the room and you still keep holding back, you leave the room before the cinema scene happens, and he never takes away your weapon. So you do the entire game powered up.
Wow.
Yeah. I used to. That's how a lot of people make these speed runs with that game, because they just go and they do the glitch. And now you beating bosses that usually takes you like, because the thing is, when you play Symphony of the Night, every time you fight a new boss, you either get a new sword, a new weapon. Some of them aren't that strong, or if you defeat enough enemies and you bring your intelligence up, the enemies sometimes drop items. Sometimes they drop rare items. They drop like ancient swords and shit like that. You equip them, fight with them, and they all have their own little ability. But none of them are as strong as your original.
Yeah.
But then when you get to certain bosses in the game and you got the strongest weapon, you do like 3 or 4 slices and be like, and that's it. You're ready to move on to the next one. So it's like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. I was like, yup, I'm going powered up Alucard, beating up everybody. But yeah, I was so surprised. And I put the game on my phone and I was like, oh, you can still do this? And I did it. I did the glitch. I was like, watch, this is a new 2020 version. They ain't gonna put that shit. And they still left me. I was crying. I was like, yes.
That's crazy. I never knew that existed in that game.
Yeah. Okay. See now, next time you see it, because I think it's available on the PS4 as well. You can get it.
Yeah, I have it on 360. That means I can play on my Xbox One.
I bet you, no matter where you at in the game, just restart, do exactly what I tell you, and it's literally like it's at the beginning of the game. When he first gets into the castle, you fight the big ass werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as it's the first little cinema scene you get, where if Death is dead, Death is like, Alucard, you are the traitor, blah 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 blah. And Alucard is like, I will destroy Dracula, whatever. And he was like, ha, no, you won't. And he takes away all your shit. And then you start, bruh, it's so crazy. You start off with just your hands. You don't got no weapon. Usually you see when you press the attack button, you see Alucard throwing fists. That's how much he stripped you of everything. You don't got nothing. So like, do that next time. You give it another playthrough. You're gonna be like, oh snap!
Changes the whole game.
Yeah, you're gonna be running into bosses, giving them like 3 hits, and they gonna die.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that was my shit. Yeah, man.
So I got another question. We talked about this a little bit last time.
Yeah.
But how's it going with that graphic novel that you're working on for John Genesis' new line, new Abrams book line?
It's going all right, man. I mean, it's like for like Daniel, they wrapped it up. They started writing the whole thing. They sent me a few pages, so I'm doing all the preliminaries, doing all the thumbnails, making sure everything is all good before I go in there and finish up all the pages.
So what was some of the backstory on that? They reached out to you when John got the line?
Yeah, well, it was actually, it's funny because John was kind of like, I got this hookup and I want to do this thing. And it was like 2 years ago. Well, I could say 3 years ago now. And I was like, all right, man. And I love John. I've known John for a minute. But like anything, I'm like, all right, man. So if you pitch it, do it. Let me know. I'm down. But I ain't think nothing of it. I ain't, that's like if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So we, I think about maybe a year or so went by, and then he was like, "You remember that thing I told you about?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yo, it went well." And I was like, "Oh, that's what's up." And I jokingly told him, he says, "Yeah, I'm a big fan of Daniel Jose Older. Like, I read his first 2 novels, which was Shadow Shapers. At the time, I only read the first one before he came out with the second. And then he was like, I'm trying to get him. I was like, man, if I can do a graphic novel version of Shadow Shapers, just let me know. And that was the joke. And then literally he hit me up and said, well, we ain't doing one of Shadow Shapers. Definitely coming to a whole new one. So I was like, oh, snap. So it just became, as of last year, it became a reality, and how all these things go. It's like talking to publishers, making sure everything is good, all the legal stuff and everything else. And officially started working. I think Daniel was also contracted to do a few other things prior to that, so he had to finish those first before he could start working on this. But in the meantime, I was doing like character design stuff, making sure just building the world, really. And yeah, it's been pretty dope. And I'm slowly starting to work on the script. I've been getting all the updates and everything. It's a really dope story. It's right up my alley, supernatural horror type stuff. So, I'm ready to sink my teeth into it and get it going.
Is it going to be a long book? Is it
Yeah, it's gonna be like this. I think it's gonna be like one of them 200 page type.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is it in color? Is it black and white, or do you have a team with you, or are you doing all the art by yourself?
I'm all alone.
Okay. Okay.
I'm straight running on this one. It's I'm doing all the coloring and the artwork and everything else, but the kind of style that I'm going to use on is going to make it easier to just draw and color at the same time. So,
okay.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I've had to rethink certain ways that I've been doing some of the artwork, especially the way I've been doing stuff for years. Because it's weird when you do comic strips, especially with a format like Bounce, it becomes like a formula.
Yeah.
So I'm used to just drawing the talking heads, and you remember my work back in the day. I used to do crazy action scenes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was doing VSX stuff, but when I started doing Bounce, I kind of left that alone unless I really needed to do it. And but now I'm starting to get back into it again. Hence, watching all the Avatar and anime and Korra.
Getting your research in.
Yeah. So that's been helping me a lot. And truth be told, I had the 3 Korra art books here for a minute, and I had touched them, for it. Like I said, the artwork was dope. They've just been on my bookshelf, and I've recently just dusted all of them off. And I was like, okay, start looking at these bad boys and see what's going on. So, this is definitely, I'm looking forward to the way it's going to come out. Characters, it all takes place in New York, which makes it pretty, the supernatural version of New York, so it's, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Do you have a schedule? What's the proposed release date?
It's probably, I think it's not, I've got some time. This is
okay.
Yeah. It's not anything I need to get it out or something like that. Because, this pandemic has kind of slowed a lot of things down. And, it's people got to survive and do what they got to do, and plus create at the same time. So it's just, but definitely with pandemic or not, I still had a decent amount of time to work on it. So, it's not anything anytime soon. But I'm sure there's going to be a huge announcement that comes out somewhere towards the end of the year, where they're going to start doing release dates on a lot of these titles.
Okay.
I do know there's a decent amount of people who are working on this stuff on some other titles that some of their books are coming out a little bit sooner. But as for me, I think I'm good for it.
You got some time.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, speaking about announcements and things, how does it feel to be in a world of comics where there's no conventions, so there's no artist alley, there's no announcements, there's no parties to network to get more work or get projects or put yourself in people's minds, and there's no traveling, and I like your partner. That's like a major part of her like her business or like her public persona is like being at these events and moderating and talking, and how was that?
It's crazy. Like prior to when everything went to shit, I had plans on doing Heroes Con, San Diego, Keystone, and not as just somebody who was just going to go visit, or I was actually going to have some tables and everything. But shit just it's crazy because on one hand, you're not traveling and spending a lot of money to travel. There's that, I guess. You want to talk about like saving money, but at the same time, it's like the amount of money that you make selling books, networking, it's all an investment. Even for cons where you go to and you don't make as much money as whatever you make your table back, if not, some more. But even for stuff like that, sometimes some of the experiences and the networking is well worth the trip. So, I don't know. It's been especially harder on Karen because every event she had pretty much got canceled.
Yeah, everything, like essentially everything got canceled. Everything major got canceled. And then even the ones that said they pushed it back, I'm sitting here like, you ain't doing this in November. You ain't doing this in December. What do you... Just count that out. 2021.
Count it all out, man. Just let it. And honestly, like as ridiculous as it is, and I would definitely love to do. Like, there's a couple of events where they're talking about they're still doing it, and I'm like, and I feel great, and very honored and thankful for some of the invites to some events. I was like, okay, y'all still doing this, but I don't feel safe going to some of these events. I don't feel like, this whole open everything up again. That don't sit right for me at all, because I can't even imagine what the second wave is going to look like after this.
Yeah, when that flu season hit, it's gonna be rough.
Oh, dude, it's not even a joke. And we're talking about like this is it. Like this virus has now settled itself in. It's like, hey. It's like chilling with the flu right now. It says, hey, yo, we doing this. Like, we're going to be making appearances every season. Like, let's just get this going. So, and that's the hard thing about a pandemic. And I think this is one of the reasons why it's like I don't know what to call it. I'm trying to think about the term. It's kind of like, this generation only read about shit like this. They haven't actually experienced it. And those that have are too old to like make an actual influence to say, now I need to relax. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, you've got all the proof, data, and facts on as to why it's not a good idea to open things back up again. But, people going to do what they're going to do. And personally, I don't want to be part of it. I'll let y'all do what y'all want to do. I'm going to chill here and try to build whatever I can build. If I can sell my books online, if I can sell some digital copies of it, and that's good enough, I can hold me over, or I'll do some freelance work, I'll do that until this opens back up again. But I'm not going to force myself to go out there or risk myself to go out there. Like, dude, it's, you know, I'm a 45-year-old black man with I don't know, maybe some pre-existing conditions. I'm a bigger dude, man. I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. I catch the shit, get some heart problems, get a couple of blood clots. I don't know what's going to happen to me. You know, I can't guarantee that. And I don't have the luxury of privilege enough to say, well, fuck it won't affect me because I'm me and I'm awesome. Like, I can't, I don't know what, these white folks out here bugging. Like, I don't know what makes you think, like, there's no vaccine, there's no real treatment. Nothing has progressed in that way at all. But for some reason, y'all feel confident enough to say, let's open everything back up and let's go out there and do this. I don't get it. I just don't understand.
Well, yeah, that gets into a whole other discussion about, you know.
That's a whole, like I said, I get it, but for me as a person, I don't have that mentality. So
this ain't it. This ain't it. That ain't it, Chief. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, for a lot of people, especially I know, and it's very hard for people who make their living off of con work. You know, because you got people who sell prints, like do
commissions,
work, and, and so it's difficult.
They make money from show to show to show. It's like, it's like, oh, y'all are really taking a hit. I'm glad I don't live that way. I'm glad that the fan art thing never panned out for me, and I never got into prints because I didn't think I could afford it. So that's not me judging them, but I'm just saying, like, like, it sucks. But I guess some of we have to learn how to pivot into other things, and we'll see what happens. It's interesting because, you know, when you brought up the fact that announcement and stuff, it's just like, clearly, like, if things didn't happen, John and you all would be like at New York Comic Con. There'll be a panel.
Absolutely. There'd be a panel. There'd be things.
Some signings and stuff.
Yeah. Something.
Some type of after party at Abrams.
Yeah.
And
when stuff, goes down. And, like I said, a lot of the titles, especially some of the stuff that they announced that was supposed to happen, are not coming out this year. Some of them are. But,
most of 2021 probably,
2021, 2022, which is fine. So hopefully, if we haven't opened up a dimension to the next parallel universe that we just found out about, hopefully we'll still be around to have these shows. And still do what we gotta do. Did you hear about that shit?
The backward parallel universe. Exactly. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if I want to go backwards.
Me neither, bro. I don't know what's going on with that, man. Y'all are excited for the wrong reasons.
I'm like, I didn't watch too many things, and I didn't read too many comic books. I'm like, yo, sometimes the Justice League meet the evil Justice League. I ain't trying to meet the crime syndicate.
Bird. Could you imagine every artist that meet the evil versions of themselves from a backwards parallel dimension?
Better yet, the ones who are assholes here, you meet the nice ones and be like, damn, let me replace your ass.
Man, Bird, for real. Oh, man. Let's not even get into that because we can a list of people that I'd love to replace.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I could become a common rider over there. I'd be straight. I'd be like, oh, I got me a driver. I'm beast mode now.
Oh, man. I wouldn't even want to meet the evil version of myself. Oh, my God.
That won't be good. If I meet the evil version of me, it might be pretty bad because sometimes I'll be like, the world is trash. Maybe I should see it burn. Like,
and that's you. That's you.
Regular.
A little bit of it. And then
you got evil.
That moral compass, you're like, I ain't gonna do that. No, that motherfucker in the other parallel dimension, he gonna do that.
Yeah. You gonna be trying to corrupt me to the dark side. They be like, you making too many good points. Let me get away from you.
Just think about it, man. But every thought that you had, where you was like, I should just kick this dude down the stairs. That dude over there did it. Every time you were like, let me just take this comic off this dude's tape. He ain't gonna know this. That dude did it.
Yeah, my comic.
Exactly. Oh man, but yeah, like, but definitely, like around about that time, like 2021, 2022, like when these books actually start to come out. Now I'm sure, hopefully we'll have some kind of semblance of normalcy that we can go back, have panels again, and promote stuff, do signings and everything else. That would be good.
It'll be an all new comic world by then.
Yeah, I mean, shit's changing a lot, man. I really haven't been keeping up with a lot of the news. I heard, all kinds of stuff going on with Diamond.
A lot, yeah. It's a lot of people in smaller publishers losing their job.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people going broke. And now we got more than one distributor.
Yep.
That's all. That's the cliff notes.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty much what I got from it. That's what I was like. Yeah, when this thing comes back, it's going to be a whole new industry. It's going to be a whole new way of doing things. I don't even know as far as how the gatekeeping is going to go. If it's going to breed a whole new aspect of gatekeeping, or if it's going to be a whole new, way of weeding it out. Like I couldn't even tell you.
It could be different because, whatever gates that Diamond have closed, the other ones might open up just out of spite.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the business, it's they denied you, we'll distribute you.
Exactly.
Because they want the business. Yeah. Who knows? Yep. It'll open things up, be more like the past. Before Diamond was the only person.
Exactly.
But that's a story for another time.
Yeah, that's too much of a...
But hey, man, I'm gonna let you go now. I want you to let the people know how they can follow you on the internet.
So I am all over the interwebs. I am on Twitter and Instagram as bounce_comic. I am on Facebook, which I'm rarely on, at it's just Chuck Dragon Black Comics and Bounce the Comic. And that's pretty much it. I just made a TikTok. But I haven't posted. I haven't done any videos. I can't dance, so I'm not doing that. But there's a lot of great comedy on there I watch.
Sure enough.
But those are the basic places, and on the actual website, which is bouncethecomic.com, and you can order all of my books digitally for now at gumroad.com/thebouncer.
All right, man. Well, I want to thank you for being on the show, for coming through and chatting it up and talking.
Appreciate it.
And I hope that you and Karama have a safe time up there as this thing balance itself out. Man.
Yeah, we've been good. We've been social distancing before social distance was a thing, so we're kind of fine. Apart from having to just go out and get some groceries every once in a while, we stay in the crib. We don't go nowhere.
Word.